G'day mate, welcome back to Factorio with me, Jedi. Today is the day. Today is the day that we build a rocket silo. Yep, that's it. That's the whole intro. Today we're building a rocket silo. So with the intro out of the way, I want to grab all the components I need for a rocket silo. So if we go to crafting, we come over here, we see we need 1,000 steel, we need 200 blue circuits, we need 200 engines. I don't know why you need 200 engines, actually. We'll get to that. And we need 1,000 concrete. So we're going to go to our logistics tab. Yep, all the words. So I'm going to change steel to request in 1,000, please. Blue circuits, 200, please. Concrete, we know we have a whole pile of concrete because I automated that really early on, and then I capped the box and then we uncapped the box. Going to request in 1,000 concrete. We're going to go to electric engines. We're going to say 200 of those as well. And pipe we should already have on us. Yep, that's everything. So we've just got to stand still and wait for the bots to bring us all the junk. Logistics. Blue circuits, yes, they're on their way. Steel on their way. Engines, 194 on their way, so we should get 200 real quick. Concrete, yes, there's still several thousand in storage, so we're good there as well. Steel, not an issue. Yep, just gotta wait for the inventory to fill up and maybe clear some space. Rail, I don't want any rail on me right now. That can go away. One stupid power pole can go away. Belts, 1,000. We're at like a 500 belt person now. That's a bit better. 2 engines, 300 steel. We have the concrete, we have the blue circuits. Yeah, it's just steel. Where's that chest with the steel? There. Come stand right beside it. Okay, so I can cancel that request now. I have 1,000. I can cancel that request. I can change that back down to 1,000 neat. And it's just the steel, which, you know what? If I stood on the belt and just pressed F a little bit. Done. And we're going to change that back to 100 because after I build this thing, I do not want 1,000 steel dumped back in my inventory. So, crafting. We're going to craft 1 rocket silo. Just one. Just one. That's all we need. Just one to start with. We might craft a second, we might craft a third, but today we're going to start with 1. Actually, if you want to see multiple rocket silos, by all means, up the top right-hand corner, you should find a link to my Sub-X Redux series, which will be the series that will be continuing after this gets to its end, its conclusion. There's a couple more things I want to cover. It's not ending today, but, you know, yeah, that one if you want to see multiple rocket silos, multiple rocket silos. So I figure our very first rocket silo should go right here, which is obviously a space where a biter base did once exist. Now, from that, I can put down my 3 request chests. We're going to request in our rocket control units. 400. Not kidding around with this stuff. We're going to request in some low density structures. 400. We're going to request in some rocket fuel. 400. So, that'll give us some of the materials that we need to build a rocket. Obviously, every single rocket part is 1% of the rocket. So you need to craft 100 rocket parts. Each rocket part costs 10 rocket control units, 10 low density structures, and 10 rocket fuel. The catch is, I don't really want to put 1,000 different rocket pieces in the silo. That sounds expensive. I'd like to save myself a couple of pennies. If we look at our productivity modules, if I put in just my productivity module ones, each one of those is going to give me 4% extra productivity. So if we look at our rocket silo now, we're going to get 16% extra productivity, which means that 16% less items I need to put in the silo. But we can do better. We can craft our productivity module 2s, which takes us from 4% up to 6%. Little bit of an improvement, nothing massive. But we do have productivity module 3s, which are 10%. Now, if I put 4 of those in a silo, it means rather than me having to do, what was that, 16%? So 86% of a rocket silo and the other 16% is free. I'm only going to do 60% and the other 40% is free. It's not quite how the maths works, but you get the picture. You get the picture. So I really want some productivity module 4s. And I'd like 4 of them. So we're going to quickly get them up and automated. You might notice our copper belt is dead. We're going to go look at that in a second. First thing I want to do is I want to come to here. I want to slap down assembler. Set it to productivity module 3. Put my productivity module 2s in there. Throw the whatever materials I have in there. At the same time, throw in some speed modules so it goes as fast as possible. I want this baby done. Do we want to keep producing these afterwards? I'd like to say yes, but the base is very poor. Very, very, very poor. So we're going to go with no. No for right now. So what I have done is, between episodes, I have put in prod mods in basically anything that absorbs copper, because we have 4 full belts of copper coming in. It's not an ore shortage. It is purely a... we're using 4 belts worth. We're using potentially 4 whole belts in green circuits. It's not quite 4 belts. Could you not do that, please? Bad biters. Bad biters. Bad biters. Okay. So we're using potentially 4 whole belts in green circuits. It's not quite that much. You can see there's 1 and a drib of belt left over. Then we have our workshop, which is using some amount. We have red science. Red science is going to be the first one we're going to talk to. You guys have a crafting speed of 0.75. I'd like to... Yep. I'd like to maintain my crafting speed of 0.75, but at the same time, I'd like to... No, that's too fast. I'd like to just trim the speed, but I'd like to have some productivity and trim the speed, or trim the speed to basically what it is currently. So we're going to experiment with some mixture of prod mods and speed mods, and that's at 0.93. That's at 0.75. If I take out the speed mod and put a prod mod back, that's at 0.5. It's too slow. 0.68 is too slow, so that's my best combination. I need to have at least a crafting speed of 0.75, so it stays in ratio with everything else. But at the same time, I'm going to get 12% extra productivity out of them, which in theory means I'm going to use 12% less copper. So, because this is an odd combination of 3 and 1, it's actually easier for me to remove these guys first, and then copy and paste that and put it in place. And then the prod mods go and fly over along with the speed mods, and magic does happen. You can have those 71 gears and the 40 copper that I don't really want in my inventory. So, that gets that problem up and running. Next place we're using copper on the main bus is right here at ammo, which I cannot upgrade with prod mods because we don't have the option. Next thing we have is red circuits. That's already done. I did do batteries between episodes, okay? I just put prod mods in them. It doesn't use a lot of copper, but every scrap counts currently. Next one was low density structures. We've already done them as best as we can. Technically, there are items like both of these are using green circuits, which technically come from copper. So if I prod modded these, I get myself out of trouble, but I'd also have to maintain the speed of these to maintain the ratios. Same with technically yellow science and purple science. So yellow science uses blue circuits, which need copper in them somewhere along the production line. They also need low density structures, which need copper. They need robot frames and electric engines, which need green circuits, which, like I said, has copper somewhere along the production line. So upgrading your sciences to prod mods is not a bad idea. You'll be surprised on how many resources you'd save by just trimming out, just trimming in some productivity, spending a little bit more on power, a little bit less on resources. Makes a big difference. You guys use red and green circuits. I'd love to prod mod you, but I can't because you're not... actually, it says... It used to say the productivity modules can only be used on intermediates. So normally things in this tab. It's not exclusive. You can use them in other items, but yes. So I can't put prop mods in that. We've already done blue circuits. I can't put prop mods in lasers. We've already done the this red circuit build. I haven't done our rocket control units. So we're going to upgrade. Actually, I think... No, we're going to go all in. So going to change all these over to the next level. And then fill them with prop mods because it's a build. I'm not too worried if it goes slowly. Rocket control units are used in basically just a rocket silo. Not quite exclusively. They are used here, there, and other things, but pretty much exclusively in a rocket silo. And if our rockets are a little bit slow, that's perfectly fine because rockets finish the game. They also give you infinite science, but it's a whole different topic for our next video. Probably tomorrow's video. So we've prop modded pretty much everything we can, basically. As I said, there are things that we could go back and actually cancel. Thank you. There are other things I can prod mod. So I could prod mod green science, which uses inserters, which do use green circuits, which technically have a copper cost. But it would require me to have more Mark III assemblers, and according to that, I'm still waiting for 35 to show up down here. So it's not really worth our time and effort just at the moment. Not until we have a greater supply of assemblers. In the meantime, we have 4 of these ready and cooked up. So I'm just going to pick up the whole lot. And we're going to go put these 4 productivity modules in our rocket silo. Boom. So we can now see the crafting speed doesn't change because we'd already, like, the difference, there's no speed penalty difference between a productivity module 1, 2, or 3, but our overall productivity is at 40%, which actually means after I put in 720 parts rather than 1,000, I'm going to have a completed rocket. So that's the plan. Throw down some inserters, get you guys crafting. Well, the inserters are more than fast enough to keep up with this because of the speed penalty, but we can see that's 1% and we've already got 40% bonus. This will be 2%, we'll have an 80% bonus. Done. And then we get 3% for free, and then we keep going on to 4%, and then 5%, which would be 60% from memory. About here, yeah. And then 7%, we should get 7 and 8% all at once. No, 6 and 7. There we go. So yes, it's going to keep counting up. We're going to keep getting free percentage points. Meanwhile, I want to do some more trimming around the base. Just small things, like things that, you know, we just haven't got to. So we can see our plastic belt is suffering. And I'm willing to bet there's a good chance that's a coal issue. Yeah, we have petroleum in the pipe. It's a coal issue. The reason it's a coal issue is we're bringing in 2 yellow belts, and I'm actually taking out a full red belt and partial belt right here. So I'm going to cancel that one entirely. This coal comes up here and feeds this smelter. Technically, it continues on and feeds this power plant, which we've decommissioned. Oh, and I've separated the power network. Oh, that power plant just does that road report and that radar. Hey, that fixes that. That's now kicking in and helping out the main grid now. So I want to put in a splitter that we almost put in a long time ago. So this solid fuel can now run... Solid fuel can now run this smelter. Can also run all these smelters. Solid fuel I have plenty of, and it's an oil product. So as long as I can keep bringing oil into the base, I can keep using any oil product, and it's basically infinite. So it's something I really don't have to worry about. We have lots of lube, lots of petroleum, lots of light oils. So yes, things are all going fine down here. I'm going to throw these guys. Well... Any of you got room? There we go. Throw that in there. I don't have any more solid fuel on me. No. Yup. Throw you in the output slot. We've made a certain amount of rocket fuel. I'm going to deconstruct those two, because really 2 chests at 480 is 960. And Mr. Rocket Silo up here, which is up to 31%, only needs 720. So I can remove... I've already removed that one. I can remove the extra chest on the end. Just 2 chests. 2 chests are going to be more than enough to keep Rocket Silo happy. So I might as well save the excess. That's definitely perked that up. So that's running better. Solid Fuel is running everything up here. I don't need these steam engines anymore. So we're going to cut them off as well. Solid Fuel is running all our smelters. It'll run this smelter eventually. Please stop it. Oh, I built this out to put lasers here and then didn't bother even putting in the lasers. Fixed. Okay. You've been upgraded. We've upgraded Red Science. I'm really tempted. No. 28. Okay. No, your speed 2s. Your speed 1s. How many speed 1s do you guys have? That's a blueprint. You have 7. Yeah, I'm tempted to definitely upgrade some more of the assemblers and the labs up to the next level. Okay, one thing I do want to do, and it's something we should have done a long time ago, is upgrade... Okay, turn alt mode off so I can see what's what. Upgrade our labs to productivity 2. Because this is going to save us... Science is one of the most expensive things. Definitely one of the most expensive things. And if we can upgrade them to productivity 2, we then save a whole bunch of resources disappearing into research. Because, like, you know, atomic bomb, 5,000 research. Cheapy. Cheapy, cheapy, cheapy. So, yes, I should have done this a long time ago. Basically, as soon as you have access to the next tier of productivity modules, you should make a few and put them in your labs. Just your labs. Like, labs first. Always labs first. Again? Really do like that center attack vector. Okay, so that's upgraded those. We're fixed, you're fixed. You're fixed, you're fixed. Sort of out of things to do, and whilst that builds 63%. What we're going to do is we're just going to do a quick jaunt down here. Buy assemblers. Prod mods, there we go. Upgrade those guys, upgrade those guys. Ran out of prod mods again. I don't have any left on me. It's only a handful to go. At the same time, I'm going to grab that. And I'm going to build a nice straight row of them there and there. Because I'm at 71%. Probably by the time we finish here, that'll be up and ready. Probots, 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 probots. Come on, probots. On their way 50. There we go. Upgrade those guys, upgrade those guys. Okay. Deconstruct, deconstruct, deconstruct. Copy. Paste. That way they're preset out with the modules, and when the modules show up, we should... Well, when the assemblers show up, the modules will automatically get put in there as well. I'm going to throw that in there. We're going to throw that in there. We're going to go back up to our rocket silo to get there right for the end. And then... If ever impatient, add beacons. Many, many, many beacons. Okay. That's it. We're done. One rocket. You're a bit late, bots. So, after you get a rocket, you get a choice of put something in the cargo space. You can put anything in there you'd like. You could put in a bit of pipe. You could put a Valiant robot, that one that's defended you for the whole game. You can even put in a train wagon. Yeah, train wagon. Actually, no, let's not put in a train wagon. Let's put in a Valiant car. A Valiant car that served us well. And then, because it's a vehicle, you can press enter to get in a vehicle. Remember that? Remember that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press enter. I'm going to jump inside the vehicle. And then we're going to be clicking the launchy button. That's it. 23 hours, 50 minutes, a whole bunch of kills, 15,000 big spitters, 11,000 medium spitters, 7,500 big biters, some medium biters, a couple of trees, a couple of spawners, 5 big sandy rocks for some reason. I'm assuming they got in front of a tank, and 2,000 trees. I'm assuming again whilst I was in a tank driving through a forest. Anyway, with all that said, that is going to end today's episode. Today's episode is done and dusted. We're going to pull up our beacons because I don't really want this running faster. Tomorrow, we're going to cover... I think it's the artillery. I think we're going to play with some artillery. So the series is not over. The series is not done. There's a couple more things I want to tick off. I'd like to tick off artillery. We'll probably do that in the next episode. I'd love to tick off the Spidertron. We'll probably cover that in the episode after. And I'd love to cover the atomic bomb. At the same time, we need to work out space science in there somewhere. Maybe we'll do the artillery and space science in one episode back to back. We'll see. Either way, that is definitely going to end today's episode. We've launched a rocket. We're, 28 episodes in, 24 hours total game time, and you have seen that I've, run the game at 2 times speed and stuff, so I can get stuff handcrafted quickly because I couldn't be bothered to automate it. At the same time, you can also notice, and this is probably the most important part of this episode, you can notice how we went from the start of the game being super iron poor to the end of the game. It does a complete 180, and I'm now copper poor. I do not have enough copper to keep all the things I'd like running in my base actually running at the same time. So yeah, something to keep in mind. We can always add boosters to our smelter, and maybe that's something else we'll squeeze into the series. I don't know. I'm not sure. I have set up another copper outpost. I do have an unload train station that is already running that is covering these 2 rows, but I guess there's nothing stopping us setting up another copper to have a copper injection. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, this is where I'm going to call this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you're enjoying. At the same time, I will remind you, a couple of days ago, I launched the the Sub-X Redux series. I really recommend you give that guy a watch, because when this series ends, that's going to be a replacement series for it. It's already launched. It's already got the first episode up at least, which is like a reintroduction. It's a reintroduction to a series that I was doing prior to 1.0 coming out. We've had a whole lot of new people come to the channel, which I thank you very much for clicking that subscribe button. I thank you for joining the channel. And yeah, that's a... So there's this thing called a Mega Base, and then there's the Sub-X series, which is... You tell me in the comments below, what's bigger than a Mega Base? Because whatever it is, that's definitely what this base is. We just launched 1 rocket in this series. In that particular base, it launches 23 rockets every single minute. With all that said, this is where I'm going to leave today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you're enjoying, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's episode and on Discord. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.